One of the most fascinating things we see in nature is the ability to concentrate energy. We see this through a magnifying glass. When one takes a magnifying glass and puts it opposite the sun's rays, it's able to concentrate the energy given from the sun, and it's so strong that it can burn through a piece of paper and even burn it. This isn't because there's more energy given forth, but rather because that energy is concentrated and unified into one place. When Am Yisrael were given the Torah at Har Sinai, it says, "Vayichan Sham Yisrael neged Ahar." And Rashi famously says there that they were K'ish Echad Belev Echad. They were unified. All of Am Yisrael were together. The Gemara in Zvachim gives us an interesting insight to what was happening to the nations of the world at the time that Am Yisrael received the Torah. It says that the nations of the world were afraid. They were shooken. Their palaces were shaking. They felt that something big was happening. They were terrified and approached Bilam, the prophet at that time, and asked him, "Is there a flood coming to the world?" Here, one must ask, why did they dafka come to Bilam and ask him, "Is there a flood coming to the world?" Why were they dafka asking him about a flood? Rav Meir Shapiro of Lublin gives a beautiful explanation. He draws out our attention to Yeshayahu's famous nevuah, his prophecy, where it says, "V'gar ze'ev im keves, v'namer im gedi yirbatz." The wolf will dwell with the lamb, and the leopard will lie with the young goat. A vision of peace and harmony. But didn't something like that already happen? Wasn't there unity of such in the times of Tevat Noach, when all of humanity were in Noach's ark? The difference, says Rabbi Meir Shapira, is critical. In Noach's ark, that unity was not natural. It was unity that was because it was essential. It was for survival. Everyone, man, woman, and child at the time of Noach, had to survive somehow. They had to escape the flood. So they all went together into the ark. But Yeshayahu's vision that we mentioned above is described as world peace, not because it has to be, but because it chooses to be. That's real unity, the real transformation, not because of crisis, but because of growth. Now we can understand why the nations panicked at the time that Am Yisrael received the Torah. They saw an entire nation, millions of people standing in front of Har Sinai, all unified. They didn't understand. Why were they all together? Was it because of a disaster? Was it because of war? But they couldn't understand. It was not because of that, and it wasn't because of that. That kind of unity was so unfamiliar to the nations of the world that they assumed that it had to be something bigger. It had to be a flood. It couldn't be something else. But Bilam corrected them. He told them, this isn't a flood. This is something the world has never seen before. This is the people choosing to unite, to become together, not because they have to, but because they want to, because they believe in something bigger, in something higher. After 2 years of war here in Israel, post October 7th, we deeply felt how Am Yisrael came together K'ish Echad Belev Echad, like one person with one heart. In the face of tragedy, pain, and uncertainty, we have seen incredible unity, kindness, and sacrifice like we haven't experienced in a long time. Our prayer and our hope is that this unity does not just stay as unity out of desperation in times of war, but this unity becomes and transforms into the higher type of unity, the unity that Yeshayahu was talking about in his prophecy, Shegar ze'ev im keves, that we all sit together, Be'ezrat Hashem, b'mehera b'yameinu.